In today's video I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to try to set up a paludarium. A little bit nervous, but also very excited. Let's get started. Now, since I'm completely new to paludariums, I thought it would be best to call in a little bit of help. So I've reached out to my friends over at WEO. If you don't know WEO, they're a company based in Barcelona and they specialize in aquarium decor. So I actually went to visit them last year, I think, and they just have loads of different kinds of hardscape, like rocks, wood, substrates, all kinds of amazing products. And they've already helped me out a few times. They also provided the hardscape for the Big Shallow, if you guys remember that project. And they helped me out today as well, so they're kind of the main sponsor of today's video. So throughout this video you're going to see me use a lot of different products from WEO. They've sent me some amazing stuff, so let's get started. This is the tank that we're going to be escaping today. This is an Oasis Styline 125. It's measuring 70 centimeters from left to right. It's about 45 centimeters tall and it's 40 centimeters front to back. So it's a decent size. And regular viewers of the channel will know that this used to be my Africa biotope. Unfortunately, that layout didn't really develop like I imagined it. It also had some really stubborn algae issues. So I decided it would be best to just start over. So I already did a little bit of work yesterday. I took everything out, caught all the fish, kind of gave the tank a good clean. And I also added in this background. And this is the first product from WEO. So this background is made of cork and is compressed to turn it into one big sheet. So this sheet was measuring 70 by 50 centimeters, almost the exact same dimensions as the tank. I had to adjust it a little bit, cut off a few pieces here and there. But right now it fits perfectly and I think it looks amazing. So I glued it in place with silicone glue. And the reason I did that is because cork is very light and it's definitely going to float. So I applied a lot of silicone and then glued it to the background. And I basically left it like that for 24 hours. Then we also have a little bit of old substrate from the previous layout still in the tank. And I left this in here because this stuff is still full of beneficial bacteria. So hopefully that's going to help kickstart the new cycle. I'm also currently running the canister filter on this tank just to kind of keep the beneficial bacteria in the filter alive as well. So hopefully once we're done we can swap the filter back to this tank. And this tank should be almost cycled instantly. We should be able to add in fish straight away as well. So the plan is to have this tank filled up about halfway with water. And then the submerged part is still going to be like an Africa themed biotope style layout. And then above water I just want to have some simple terrarium plants, some mosses. Not really sure yet how this is going to look and how this is going to develop. But a lot of the decisions will just be made as we progress through this build. So I think we should just get started. Let's start working on the hardscape for the submerged part. Now for the hardscape in here I have something really cool, guys. I basically have an all-in-one hardscape kit from WEO. So in this box you have everything you need to create a hardscape for a tank that's roughly 60 centimeters in size. If you have a bigger tank you can obviously buy 2 kits, for example. So these come in a bunch of different types. I think they have 10 different varieties and they're all based around rivers throughout the world. So obviously the one that I got is from the Congo River. This is the River Kit Meer, I think it's pronounced. So with this box you get 4 different items. Let's kind of go over them one by one. First up, this big bag is Wetland Artist. And this is the plant substrate from WEO. So this stuff contains a lot of nutrients and should help kickstart the plant growth. Then the second bag is the Biotope Bed. That is the decorative sand. Then behind that we have the nano boulders. So these are the small rocks. And then in this box we have the bigger rocks. Everything you need to create a nice hardscape, so let's give it a try. That's the first substrate layer in, it's looking really good. So I'm thinking to now move on to the bigger rocks. Got them right here. And WEO calls these bumblebee rocks. So they're really creative with their names. I just checked the website and this rock is inert and doesn't affect the water parameters. So that's very good. Really happy about that. So I'm just going to play around with the rocks a little bit and see if we can come up with something that looks nice. And then we can move on with the rest. Here we go, that's the first rocks in. So in this kit you get 5 rocks. I'm not sure if that's the same with every kit, but I got 5 rocks. 3 of them were like large, 2 of them were more of a medium size. So now we can move on to those nano boulders. Okay, the plant substrate is in, the big rocks are in, the nano boulders are in. Now let's finish it up with the biotope bed. I think this is really going to bring everything together. Here we go guys, that's the first part of the Paludarium Hardscape done. That was actually really easy, took me maybe like 10 minutes or so. We love the decorative sand that we added in last, like there's so many little details in there, even like small pieces of twig. They'll probably float up once we fill up with water, so I'm thinking to kind of like wedge them in between the rocks just to make sure that they stay down for now. So the submerged hardscape is done. That was very easy and very much in my comfort zone as well. But now for the hardscape above the water, that's something that I've never done before. But I think I have a pretty cool idea for it. I mean, we already have the cork background, and we also sent me a bag with like smaller pieces of cork. And I think this way we can kind of create a 3D background. So here's how they look like straight out of the bag. It's basically like a hollow piece of cork. So I have 3 of these pieces, but I'm thinking that technically we should be able to kind of split them open and then have like 6 halves. And that way we kind of have like a hollowed out tree that we can actually fill with plant substrate and put some plants in there. I think that would be very cool, but let's see if we can make that happen. We did it. So that was actually pretty easy. So we now have 4 halves. This piece I'm going to keep whole just because it looks really nice. I kind of want to show it off as well, like show off the bark. And then these 4 pieces we can fill with plant substrate and put plants in there, some ferns, some mosses. I think they will look really good. I mean, this is only 3 pieces. It might actually already be enough. I quite like how that looks. I also don't want it to be too crowded up in here, you know. I'm just going to glue these 3 pieces to the background. And once they're secure, I can always like add in more and see if that's necessary. I don't think so, but yeah, let's start gluing them. I'm going to try my usual method, the cotton pads and liquid super glue. I mean, it works for my aquarium hardscape. Not sure if it works for Paludarium hardscape as well, but we're going to give it a try. Alright, everything is glued together, everything is secure. So I think that's the hardscape pretty much done. I'm going to add in some more details later on. But I think right now I just want to fill up with water. I want to see how this looks with water. So let's do that right now. It is now the next day. The water is cleared up nicely and the hardscape is looking really good. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. So I think we're now ready for planting. Now I told you guys earlier that WEO specializes in aquarium decor, but lately they've also come out with new products for terrariums and paludariums. So they've actually sent me some really good stuff that we can use for the immerse section as well. So first up, they basically sent me a box full of terrarium plants. So we got loads of different FITTONIAs. We have a creeping fig. We got a really cool elkhorn fern. Never heard of this, but looks really nice. And then we also have loads of different mosses. So here we have some sphagnum moss. What's in here? Cushion moss. I really like the look of this one, hypnum moss. Now of course these plants need some kind of substrate to grow on, and the only thing we have in here so far is just dry cork, so that's not very good. So I'm going to try out another WEO product. Over here I have the sticky soil. I've never used this before, I've also not really seen it being used yet, so let's just open this up, see what it is. Okay, I see, so it's basically just one giant substrate ball. You can make it smaller, you can kind of shape it I guess as well. So we can just stick this onto the background, and we can fill the cork with this as well. Okay, so that was actually quite a lot of fun. So it's kind of like working with clay. You can just shape it and just push it in any crevice that you want. So I've just kind of placed it all over the background and on those pieces of cork. So now we gotta see if we can plant in there. Oh, and also, like, if you're spraying it, like, it actually really soaks up all that moisture. So I think it's definitely a good substrate. I think we're there. I do have a few more plants, but I think I should stop here. Right now it looks good, it's not crowded, looks natural. Really happy with that. Of course, we're not done yet. We still need to plant the underwater section as well. So let's do that right now. I've just received a big shipment from Dental Plants. Now this one was actually lost by UPS. So the plants were in the box for a whole week. So I was kind of afraid that they would look very bad, but they still look healthy, they still look good. So let's take the ones out that I need. So definitely some of the crypts. We have some manubias in here as well. Let's take them out, let's clean them up, start planting. Here we go. So I ordered the 3 smallest crypt species that Dental Plants has in their assortment. So we have the crypt parva, the crypt lutea hobbit, and the crypt legroy. And I also have some manubias. I do have some more plants, but let's just start with this first. Okay, the water got a little bit murky, but I think this is enough green for the underwater part. Still trying to keep that biotope feel to it, so I think this is good. Now I'm sure some people are wondering, like, Mark, you're using crypts, wasn't this supposed to be an Africa biotope? That's true, and crypts are not from Africa, but I just like them and I think they will fit well in here. So that's why I'm using them. So we're almost done. I just want to add 2 more products from Wio that I personally really like. Over here I have mulch bed and I have wood bed. So in these 2 bags you basically just have small pieces of twig, some pieces of wood, some leaves in there as well. And yesterday I already boiled some in a little pot of water, and it's going to release some tannins as well. So adding this to this tank is really going to, like, give it that biotope feel, you know. It is now the next day and we're ready to add in the fish. I'm going to add in all the fish that were in the previous layout. So we're starting with the jelly bean tetras and the lamprey achilles. Then a couple bristlenose plecos. And lastly the crebensis. So 4 weeks have passed already, guys, and this tank has been absolutely amazing. I think it's been one of the smoothest startup phases that I've ever had. Like, right after I set this up, we actually went on holiday, so we were gone for 2 weeks. So I was a little bit worried that some of the terrarium plants might dry out, but I kept the lids completely closed, so the humidity was nice and high and everything was fine. Came home after 2 weeks, the tank was absolutely spotless. And since then it's been nothing but enjoyment. I think in the past 4 weeks I've done 1 water change. I didn't have to trim the plants. The only thing I've had to do is to kind of thin out the floating plants because they've been growing super fast. I just did another kind of thinning out session. So yeah, floating plants are growing super fast, and I haven't actually been dosing any fertilizer, so I guess all the nutrients are coming from the substrate. So that's nice. I'm just really enjoying this tank, guys. Really fun. It's just something completely different, you know, like I've never done a paludarium before, but I can definitely see myself doing more paludariums in the future. Something that's been working very well is the standard Oasa lights. Initially I was planning to upgrade these to something a little bit more powerful, but they actually work really well in the setup because these tubes, like you can change the angle, so I can actually point them more towards the background, towards all the terrarium plants. And because of that, I think the terrarium plants have actually been growing very fast because the humidity is nice and high, they're receiving a lot of light, so I think the terrarium plants are very happy in here. And then with these lids, you can actually really control the humidity as well. So normally I just keep them completely closed, just like so, and then the humidity is nice and high, but then you do get a little bit of condensation on the glass. So if I don't want that, I just open them up a little bit more on both sides, and you kind of increase the airflow, then the condensation just disappears and you have a nice clear view. So I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Wio for sending me all these amazing products for this paludarium. It's just been really fun to make. And guys, if you're interested in trying some Wio product yourself, you can actually order directly from them. So I'll leave links to all the products in the video description, plus a special code. The guys gave me Wio MJ Aqua as a code. And if you use this code on checkout, you actually get a little gift for free. So if you go to the website, on the top right corner there's a little section where it says gifts. Then you put the gift in your basket and then you apply the code and then the gift is for free. And we will send you something nice just as a thank you for placing your order, you know. That's it for now, guys. Really hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to smash the like button. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.